Yo, yo. What's going on? Back with another watch list. This time for April 3rd tomorrow. Today's action a bit more controlled. Was able to make sense of it on my end of how I trade. So decent day. Still have some positions overnight. And looks like active day tomorrow. Trump did his press conference talking about tariffs, and SPY went from 570 to 540. 30-point pull is, what is that? 30 points on 570. What's the math on that? 5%. So, pretty wild move. Looks like we will be gapping down by tomorrow. A little retest of this trend line, and now heading lower. So, if you're short anything overnight, you likely catch the tailwind of the rest of the markets. And my one second. There we go. I couldn't see the YouTube up. I thought I might have been talking to myself. So if you're short anything overnight, you likely catch the tailwind of the overall markets dragging everything with it. If you're long overnight, I mean, careful. But I think that there probably is some gap down washout opportunities to the long side. Depending where you're looking, but also going back about 2 weeks or so from the watch list, we're in a different market where these aren't dips along a bigger picture trend. These are pops along a failed fall through. So each time it pushes, it's meeting selling pressure rather than demand on the buy side. So just be careful with that, but we will be gapping down from the close. I think we're over 4% right now. Yeah, the close at 565, down 20 points. I think we're right around that 4% gap down, which has happened, like 5 or 6 times in the last 10 years. With a 4% gap down. A bunch of them were during COVID back 2020, if some of you weren't trading then. Like, there's a big gap down. There's a big gap down. That's a monster gap down. Jeez. So, I'm not going to try to pick bottoms on this, but just notable. MLGO continues to be weak, fading off. It didn't get hit too hard. Not 100% sure if I want to trade a backside bounce on this. Kind of fits the pattern. Not sure. Let's come back to that one. Main watches yesterday were NMAX and ICCT, and pretty much exactly what I didn't want to happen happened. And this thing was down like 40% at market open, just gapping down insane. Even that 5 to 4 gap I wasn't super happy about, and by the time market opens, this thing's already at 3, which is the area I would have been covering in a 4 to 450 short. I am swinging some stuff overnight. I will get to that shortly. So ICCT, I didn't even participate. This thing was just down way too much. And now it's down 50% at close. So this meets the threshold for a backside bounce. We're coming into some prior resistance. We could use this 2 backstop, see how it reacts, and then possible shove back into 354 for that backside bounce before hitting recent resistance and rolling back over. Reddit unfortunately did get hit a bit much after hours, so it's back below 105s. As soon as I saw markets pulling, when I got back to the desk this evening, I pulled up Reddit to see if I would have had an opportunity on this 105 breakdown, and so far it's already way below it. So no trade there unless I'm a bit closer to 105s. NMAX. So this one, a bit of a story behind it. So we've been talking about the last couple of days, go from 13 to like 280 or so after hours, and was in the same boat. This thing was down 180 off of, excuse me, like a 260 close, which is 80 points on 260 is like 30% or so, I think. Yeah, pull up the calculator, 30%. So it was down 30% at market open. So I'm looking for pops into like 200, 220, get some better risk reward, and try to risk wide before I can add into that. So I put on a starter with wide risk, and I added an extra 0 by accident. So I put on a starter, I'm doing my thing, eating my breakfast, finishing my scans, getting ready for market open. Look down at my position box and there's an extra 0 on. So as soon as I saw that, I covered immediately. A nice gain, take like 10 points. But it never saw higher from there. So an extra 0 would have worked phenomenal. But that kind of spooked me out. And then high a day was right at market open and SSR is on. So I'm not chasing lows on something with SSR that trades this thin. It's just not going to happen. Kyle nailed it. If you saw his post over at Clover Trading, he let it bounce and shorted here in the 150s and got pretty tight risk there for 10 to 15 a share. And he had great patience all the way down here. So congrats to Kyle on that trade. But this thing's round tripped at this point. I think this is attributed to a bunch of like insider selling. Do I think it could bounce? Yes. But you'd need to see opening ranges start to firm, VWAP start to firm, and could get thin on a backside bounce. But this thing's down 80% today. I think like stocks don't go straight up or straight down. So I think that there is an opportunity in a backside bounce on this one. RSLS, this thing had an 8K, something about dilution, and just got smoked in pre-market. Absolutely smoked. So that name was gone and off radar. BIAF. This one here was sideways all day, so no pops like I was looking for, and it wasn't really higher after pre-market. So sideways chop, no real edge there for me. TCRT, this pump name, if you remember the mailers that went out here, got this thing going. Looking left, 320s is definitely key. So continue to watch it. It's up from 140 over 3, so definitely in that 100% threshold. But look at GDHG. Like this will happen eventually. What was that other one? DWTX. This will happen eventually. Curvo's still holding up, but still had that big pullback happens. JYD, was it? This one was really nice. Basically, what I feared was it was going to trigger that SSR and then not give me any pops. And we got this super hard fail here. I was watching it all pre-market, but we never got that squeeze. I was looking for shorts to come in because SSR is off, them use that SSR, shorts showing their hand on the offers, just hitting it, squeeze them out, and then let me use that reactive trade as edge. And what happened was it was just a headacheless trade. You shorted at any point with that thesis that it was going to go back sub 1, and that's exactly what happened. So another missed opportunity on my part, but no one trade really matters, so I prefer to stay safe, wait for that really good entry, and it just didn't come. GER, I feel like one of those CNBC heuristic type nights. Good call on GER. Thank you. This is the one I'm swinging, and it's getting helped with the overall markets. So we had that higher low trend line. I had put some on here on this failed follow through setup. Hard crack lower high through these 24s. Once it started to fail, it didn't break low a day and reclaimed this bounce high. So I got stopped. And then that ended up being the top, so I top ticked that cover, which was beautiful. And then it eventually rolled over, so I was just waiting on pops. Shorted, same size I had over here, and just set a stop and let it work. And currently handsomely in the money. And I think this should gap down. Big picture goal was 16. If you look kind of at the daily, excuse me, prior support that became resistance, possibly become support again. So now that this has failed, I think we could come into those 16s. Depends where we're gapping down. If the overall markets continue to support, I would likely just take it off. I got a pretty good gain on it right now, so nothing I'm going to look to give back. But yeah, look to cover a gap down tomorrow. Closer to 16, the better. And nice opportunity. CRWV, if you saw Nate's tweets on Twitter, he was comparing this one to the Reddit IPO. And so far, we got that top day. And if you look at Reddit, I can probably pull it up. Let's see how far back we can go. Right. Oh, perfect. CRWV, gap up, and then nice steady fail for a few days. So this would be possibly the day on CoreWeave tomorrow, where you get those couple days, little perk, failed follow through, and then look for pops back up into prior resistance. This one's getting hit with the overall markets. The close is up around 60 and it's gapping down to 55. If this fails 52s, I think it's a goner back down to this next volume profile level. So definitely will have this one on watch for first red day. QSG, really good trader. I had mentioned on the watch list yesterday, hit scans, was looking for it to speed up. And we got opening range lows start to get taken out. We got a bit of a bigger gap up than normal, little pre-market parabolic. And then once the morning strength, hard crack, lower high, pops versus VWAP. So I'm shorting, covering, short, short, cover, short, short, cover, short, cover, short, cover, short, cover, flipped long, scalped it out, and then tried to get back in there for a little rollover that just never came and was all out by there, right around $5. So nice opportunity on that one. Turned out pretty good. Arab, percent gainer. Just putting it on watch, same kind of thing as TCRT, fresh daily, and volume with it. I got stopped out early, though I did higher high breaks in the 20 SMA to after hours. Higher high break on the 20 SMA. Are you talking about GER? Please expand. I'm curious what you're referring to. I'm gonna pull up my my FinViz scans and see what's up, or down for that matter. SPWH, little percent gainer. What's going on there? 100 million traded today. That's nice. Daily, fresh volume bar. Throw that one on watch. Oh, excuse me. I think ICCT could catch for a bounce, being that it's down so much. But because most of the range happened on a gap down, I think you could get shorts caught rather than it fading and them being in the money from all day. There's not a whole lot of meat on this first red day, where if it opened at 450 and faded to 2, they'd have all this room from entering throughout the day that they wouldn't be caught off guard. But if they're short from today's view app, for example, to 60, there's room back up to like $4. What's up, Golan? Stuff and such. Emma was not receptive. And no leverage. Wimp. The size I fat fingered on NMAX, I almost used leverage. That was freaky. What else we got? What else we got? Not a ton more multi-day runners. More so... more so gappers that are the percent gainers. None of those multi-day runners that we saw from scan yesterday. ABVC, that one was a bit unfortunate. I had higher hopes for that thing, but just no volume and no gap. Lame. Bass Hunter looking for BIAF T+1. Me personally, I don't think so. It would have to be like over $1 for any shorts to really be underwater. Otherwise, I think longs are on the wrong side of that one. What was the recent one? IMTE. If you look at over here, you can see it had this big move, And then where it's consolidating on the day after is above prior day's support, where if it was consolidating below 150, it would have had a lot harder time doing that. And that's what BIAF is doing, is it's consolidating below prior day's resistance. That's something I typically look for those T+1s. It tends to increase the win rate. Because there's a bunch of names that run on day one, and then volume dries up on day two. Most of them just disappear. Yeah, so scans aren't super full. Let's see what Nate's looking at. He says, no sense in a scan tonight. Everything's broken, lol. T-Tech. I don't really know what to do with that. Apple is down a lot. That thing is smoked. 20 points? That's down 10% on its own. Jeez. IBG was a gapper today. Squeezed everybody after the opening fade, and then that was it. Another one where a 200% gap, you get a little push. Curious. So the open was like 150. And I think 200% gappers are supposed to be a 29% stop, which would have been 193. So that little 29% push happened again. Or not, stop, sorry. 29% push on average. And then, what was the other one? SPFM? What was it? SPFM? There it is. That was the other gapper today. So as far as watches go, Reddit, with everything gapping down, I don't see why this one would pop to 105. So I probably, no sense in trying to short that one. ICCT, this is sideways enough, and it's down 50% off highs. I think I could warrant a backside bounce for screen day on that. And Max, same kind of thing. I would need to see selling stop. This thing was pretty heavy today. So I need to see like VWAP act as support and possible backside bounce. GUR, looking for a gap down. This chart just looks broken. If I can get like a cover towards 16 and then a reshort back up towards those low 20s, that would be ideal. But this thing just looks broken. I'm thinking this completely unwinds, but I don't have that kind of patience. I prefer to just lock in. Core Wave, looking for a first red day on this one. Once this 50-52 area fails, likely round trips back down to these mid 40s. QSG, I think if it was going to completely unwind, it would have happened today. So not super interested in that one. Tomorrow it traded the range I was looking for. Arab, SPWH, percent gainers. So that's what I got. I'm thinking I'm probably going to do a recording for my own review, so I can probably post that on YouTube after this. I'm just going to note NMAX, ICCT, QSG, GRRR, a bunch of like A-grade setups for me that I would like to keep in my memory bank. So I'll probably hop off of here, do a recording, and upload that. So yeah. Alrighty, I will leave it there. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I will see you in the room. Peace.